Welcome to the Hope After Child Loss podcast, where we endeavor to offer stories of hope to grieving parents and siblings so that they might rediscover a life filled with meaning, purpose, and hope. We invite you to come and join us. Hey everybody, I'm your host, Greg Buffkin, and if you're a regular listener, you know our primary format involves inviting guests to share their personal grief journey stories and how God restored hope and purpose. But on occasion, we're going to deviate a bit and talk about various issues related to the impact of grief on surviving parents and siblings. In today's episode, we'll focus on some specific things that anyone can do to help someone who's grieving the death of a child. So, let me ask a question. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone you care about lost a child? And if so, did you find yourself at a loss to know what to do or what to say? Rest assured, you're not alone. It's what most people say. The death of a child at any age is a traumatic and devastating and crushing loss. We want to help in some way, but it's easy to overthink it, worrying that we might somehow say the wrong thing and make their pain even worse. For some, the whole thing's just too uncomfortable to deal with, so they opt to do nothing and not even acknowledge the loss. Perhaps they should consider just how uncomfortable it is for those parents who lost a child. So, here's the good news. It's really not that hard, just a little sacrifice of your time and effort. And because my wife and I lost our son Ryan, we can offer some personal, real-life perspective that we believe can equip you to confidently and compassionately reach out and help. So here are 4 things to consider. Number 1, simply show up and offer the gift of your presence. You might be surprised at how meaningful this really is. Talking isn't even required unless they want to. And if they do, try to listen more than you talk. And if you do talk, please don't offer advice or verbal band-aids to try to help them feel better, because neither helps, but either can actually be hurtful. Number 2, avoid asking how they're doing. It's kind of a no-brainer when you think about it. They just lost their child. So no matter how they respond, no matter how they appear, I can assure you that they're not really doing well. Instead, just let them know that you're praying for them and really do pray for them. Let them know that you're there for them. And please don't tell them that you understand because you lost a spouse or you lost a parent or a grandparent, because you really don't. The death of a child is a uniquely traumatic grief. And number 3, and this is a big one. So often, very well-meaning people will say something like, if you want to talk or you need anything, just call me or text me anytime. Sounds good, right? Well, it certainly does seem kind and compassionate, but there's only one thing wrong with it. It puts the burden of responsibility and the burden of taking the initiative on them. Decision-making and initiative-taking during those early days and weeks of grieving can feel quite impossible. So you'll need to be the one to initiate that call or text, because they simply cannot. And then there are the practical things that you can consider. If you notice that their lawn needs to be mowed, or if there's a pile of dirty dishes or dirty clothes, just take care of it for them, because they probably won't ask you. And number 4, this might feel a bit counterintuitive or awkward at first, But most grieving parents really do want you to ask about their child and to hear you say their name, because it's one of the sweetest sounds in the world to a grieving parent's ears. Grieving parents fear that people are going to forget about their child. Now, I would caution you to not ask about how their child died, because, it really doesn't matter. The fact is, they died. After a little time goes by, you might consider asking them about a favorite memory with their child, or maybe a favorite vacation. So because these are questions that turn the parent's attention away from the death of their child to those sweet memories of things that they did when their child was living and with them. Now, these are only 4 suggestions. There are certainly others. And if you would like to hear more, if you would like to read about more of these, visit our website at emptychairendeavor.com, or you can email us at hope@emptychairendeavor.com. And as always, thank you for listening. If you find our podcast meaningful, we invite you to follow us so that you can automatically receive the latest episodes. Also, we'd like to invite you to contact us and talk with us about sharing your story on a future episode, because every story is important and matters to God. Please reach out via email at hope@emptychairendeavor.com. That's hope@emptychairendeavor.com. And as always, thank you so much for listening.